Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Mursyid Mubarok. I'm a student from University of Sumatra Utara. Here I would like to explain the materials about distinctive features, phonological process, and phonological rules. A distinctive feature is the smallest unit of phonetics in generative phonology. For indicating opposite traits from a phonetic parameters, we use a binary system which uses pluses and minuses to show whether or not the attribute is present. Here are the three distinctive features based on chain. Binary features, major class features, minor features, place of articulation features, body of tongue features. The sign of place is given to the segment that have the features. Otherwise, minus marked as for segments which don't have the features. Binary features. By using the binary system, we only need to set up one features, like voice as plus and voiceless as minus. This notation is perfect for any features that shows the opposite of something else. Because the binary system is so simple, we can ask if all features, even those that don't seem to binary at first, can be interpreted in binary. Major class features. Major class features have three features: syllabic, sonorant, and consonantal. First is syllabic. Syllabic features distinguish the role a segment plays in the level of syllable. Generally, consonants are main syllabic, while vowels are plus syllabic. These features has advantage to characterize syllabic nasals and liquids plus syllabic from their non-syllabic counterparts. Another feature is sonorant. This feature is related to the resonant quality of sound. For instance, vowels are always plus sonorant, same as nasals, liquids, and semivowels. By contrast, the obstruents, stops, fricative, applicates, and laryngeal glides or mean sonorant. The next feature is plus consonantal, related to a narrow constriction in the oral cavity. For example, stop, fricative, applicates, nasal, and liquids are plus consonantal. On the other hand, vowels, semivowels, and laryngeal glides are classified as mean consonantal. The table presented a contrast between syllabic, sonorant, and consonantal. Minor features. Minor features are proposed to distinguish obstruents, stops, fricatives, and affricates, and distinguish nasal from liquids, and for the letters from non-letters. Among the obstruents, all those with continuous frication throughout, plus continuant defricatives, and those beginning with total acculation, mean continuant, the stop, and affricates. Continuant also distinguish mean continuant from plus continuant. Next is affricates and stop have different release. Affricates have a delay release, whereas stop are released continuously, delay release. The other major features is trident. To distinguish among the continuants, trident is related to the outgoing air hitting the teeth or the ovula. Labiodental alveolar, platyalveolar, and ovular are strident. Besides bilabial, dental, palatal, and velar are non-strident. The delay affricate release is always strident. Another minor features are nasal and lateral. These features different various of the sonorant consonant. Place of articulation features. Four principal places for consonant articulation as claimed by Chomsky and Hell are labial dental, palato-alveolar, and velar based on whether the construction is at the extreme forward region of the oral cavity or the anterior consonant, or more retract the non-teres, and additionally whether the articulator is the blade of the tongue, the coronals, or some other articulator, the non-coronals. Labials and dentals are the plus anterior consonants, whereas velars and palato-alveolars are the mean anterior consonant. On the other hand, labials and velars are the main coronal consonants, while dentals and palato-alveolars are the place coronal consonant. Body of tongue features. In the vowel classification, the parameters are high, mid, low, front, back, rounded, and unrounded. The parameters relating to backness and rounding are, of course, binary. You can see the table this. Since there is only two degrees plus and minus to differentiate a single features, there must be two features conjointly to specify or differentiate three degrees, such as high, mid, and low. For that reason, Sen designed high and low as the degrees independent features. This is the table of distinctive features. For the example, P, P, you can see you can pronounce P, main syllabic plus consonant, main sonorant, and then plus anterior. Phonological process. Phonological process is the next material. Since that phonological process occurs when combining morphemes into words. The segments of neighboring morphemes undergo change. Phonological process that occur will be an important part of this research. Changes also occur when two morphemes come together. When morphemes are combined to form word, and some other change that occur can also be called phonological process. Here's two categories of phonological process based on sign, such as syllable structure process and awakening and shortening that mix with the voicing, stopping, and fronting process. Syllable structure affect distribution consonant or vowels in words that can be delayed or entered. There are syllable structure used by a writer, which are the example vowel dilation may prevent two vowels produced together. The example of vowel dilation can be seen in the following data. English, Indonesia. In English, okay. Indonesia, okay. In English, hello. Indonesia, hello. And the point of U deletion, okay, in English is pronounced as okay in Indonesia. The sound U is deleted after O. B. Vowel insertion. This process happens in many languages. The word cannot end in a consonant liquid cluster. In such case, the example of vowel insertion can be seen in the following data. In English, apple. In Indonesia, apple. In English, model. In Indonesia, model. In this case of a instruction, they can happen because the speaker accustomed to using in everyday life. From this distinctive feature above, a sound developed from zero between two consonants. Vowel coalescence. Vowel coalescence cause the produce single vowel to the same backness and rounding vowel. So the new syllabic structure becomes simpler. The example of consonant coalescence can be seen in the following data. In English, photo. In Indonesia, photo. In English, idea. In Indonesia, ide. In this case of a coalescence, the word photo in English is pronounced photo. In Indonesia, occurs between F and T sound. From distinctive features above, O sound becomes O, which has same contrast features from O sound like min high when it occurs between two consonants. Weakening and shortening happen when the chain of simple syllabic structure lead to a complex syllable structure, which are a senscope. Senscope occur when a vowel near a stressed vowel is deleted. On the other hand, it may occur when the stressed syllable is followed by two unstressed vowels. The vowel which following the stressed syllable is often followed by a single sonorant consonant. The example of senscope can be seen in the following data. In English, carpet. Indonesia, carpet. In English, senior, senior. Indonesia senior. In this case, the words are spoken with emphasis. The appearance of R sound in a word accompanied by the sign which means the word is pronounced requires emphasis. The voicing is a process of substituting voice consonant into voiceless one based on order. Word in Russian language always end with a voiceless option. For example, pleasure, pleasure. Stopping is a process of substituting fricatives with stops. For example, this, this. Fronting according to Leahy. Fronting is a process substituting a sound produced with posterior organ of speech into a sound produced with anterior organ of speech. For example, plosive sound k and g are substituted by alveolar plosive sound the and the. And the last, matu- and the last material is phonological rules. A phonological rule is a formal way of expressing a systematic phonological or morpho-phonological process or diachronic sound change in the language. Phonological rules are commonly used in generative phonology as a notation to capture sound-related operation and computation the human brain performs when producing and comprehending spoken language. They may use phonetic notation and distinctive features or both. John Goldsmith defines phonological rules as mapping between two different levels of a sound representation. In general, phonological rules start with the underlying representation of a sound, the phoneme that is stored in the speaker mind, and yield the final surface form or what the speaker actually pronounced. When the underlying form has multiple surface forms, this is often referred to as allophone. For example, the English plural as may be pronounced as in cats, z in caps. These forms are theories to be stored mentally as the same as, but the surface pronunciation are derived through a phonological rule. The idea behind phonological rules, generative phonologists who have worked extensively with phonological rules work on the basic assumption that every speaker has a mental lexicon full of abstract entries of phonological forms in his or her head. These abstract short entries are underlying representation and serve as input for the phonological rules. Assimilation. Heyman states that assimilation refers to all adaptive modification of a segment in a chain of segments by neighboring segment. The define said that assimilation is a process whereby one sound causes an adjacent sounds to be more similar to it. From the point of distinctiveness, assimilation can be continued by preceding or following sounds. Assimilation patterns manifest three subtypes: a phonetic free variation or contextual assimilation. The chain affects a certain segment by selecting a certain variant of of that segment. B. Phonemic assimilation is often referred to as neutralization or syncretism. This is more systematic, not subject to free variation. It also results in the neutralization of two phonemes. And the last C, morphological or morphonemic assimilation, is one which affects a whole morpheme. It usually decides the morpheme variant allomorph according to morphonemic rule. And the next is dissimilation. Dissimilation refers to the process by which one sound becomes different from neighboring sound. For example, the word pilgrim derives ultimately from the Latin peregrinus. The L sound results from dissimilation of the first R under the influence of the second R. A special case of dissimilation is haplology, in which the second of the two identical or similar syllables is dropped. Deletion. An elision or deletion is the omission of one more sound, such as a vowel, a consonant, or a whole syllable in a word or phrase. The word allusion is frequently used in linguistic description of living languages, and allusion is often used in historical linguistics for historical sound chain. For example, most American English speakers do not pronounce the in handbag, so it's process by which a sound present in the phonemic form is removed from the phonetic form in certain environment. Metathesis is aspect of the English language. It is transposition within a word of letters, sound, syllables. Okay, there are three materials. I hope you can enjoy this video. Thank you.